I come from a family that has produced a number of clergy, both in the Lutheran and the United Church of Christ traditions. So I'm not unfamiliar with having clergy around. My family was very active in when I grew up. It was still an evangelical Reformed church, but like many of my peers and colleagues, when I went to college, church moved to the back burner, and I was engaged in other activities. Playing football and wrestling and doing academic work. I was also an Air Force ROTC at that time. This was at the very beginning of the Vietnam War period. And I had intended to become a pilot in the Air Force and be a scientist and all those wonderful things. Well, playing football, I managed to get seriously injured, and so I couldn't pass any of the physicals to go into the Air Force, which was a good thing for both the Air Force and for me. And encountered a chaplain by the name of John Van Noorsdaal, who was the chaplain at Gettysburg College, where I was then attending, who got me involved in some student programs at the chapel, the most formative of which was a trip to the East Harlem Protestant Parish in about 1966, where we were tutoring in storefront academies for 2-week periods. We were there to tutor students to help get their academic level up to a point where they could go into a preparatory school and then hopefully into college. Well, that was an experience at church I'd never had before. And that got me interested in church, to think that church was engaged in this kind of thing. So I went to seminary to see what this was all about, and here I am. Oh, I miss a lot of it. You know, there are a lot of days I sit at the desk and say, no, why am I here and not in a church? But I think the new church was the best experience, especially in retrospect. At the time, I was frightened that it wasn't going to make it. It always looked so fragile. But the friendships and relationships we formed and built there have endured over 25, 30 years. And it was a wonderful experience. It was a family experience. When you go, you know, a lot of the church activities are in your home or wherever that is. And we had 2 young children at that time. So Judy and our 2 children were part of the formation of the church. It was great. Well, the exciting parts are also the challenging parts. This is a time of real transition and change for religious communities at every setting. Certainly at the denominational level, we're in the process of trying to rethink what does it mean to be a denomination in all these so-called post things, post-Christian, post-modern, post-denominational. So I think I'm excited about trying to work through that with the staff, with our partners in conferences, and with input from local churches. I'm really excited because one of the things I see clearly developing is more and more attention and focus on the relationship with local congregations, which I think is absolutely where we need to be. Leadership, leadership, leadership. Leaders, good pastoral leadership for local congregations. Bringing more and more people of different generations, younger generations, into pastoral leadership, into life of our congregations, encouraging and nurturing lay leaders, men and women, youth and young adults. We have not been as successful at that in recent years as we need to be. So for local church ministries, I see really 2 streams for us. Working on identifying, mentoring, nurturing, training, educating, equipping leaders, and increasing the vitality of local congregations. Those are our 2 primary foci. And that's where we're going to spend our ministry and our money. I think the leadership question, like the church vitality question, is not just for local church ministries. I think we have an assumption that we can compartmentalize local church ministries, justice and witness ministries, global ministries, and you can't do that. It's a systemic issue. And that's why I'm really excited about working with my collegium colleagues and staff from other covenant ministries together on issues of leadership and congregational vitality. Well, I go to South Carolina, to our home there, and spend time with my wife, usually working outside. I love to garden. We live on a lake, but I don't have a boat yet. I may have to resolve that problem sometime soon and learn how to fish or something. The disciples who were fishermen weren't very good at it, and so I probably can fit right into that.